Sporting Lisbon 2, Arsenal 2. Yes, people, football and Arsenal have drawn 2-2 to Portuguese side Sporting Lisbon in our first leg of our round of 16 Europa League draw. As always, don't know your thoughts on the match in the comment section down below. I do want to apologise as usually my match reactions do come out on the same day of the match. I had some complications yesterday, but the match reaction is out now and I did view the game. And overall, it was quite an entertaining fixture. I did think it would be so. We've got the privilege and the pleasure of playing our second game at the Emirates, meaning this first game away set up really nicely actually for that game. It's all to play for at the Emirates in a one-round knockout because away goals are out of the equation nowadays in European football. I think Arsenal, to be honest, are leaking too many goals. I've got to be completely honest with it. We saw against Bournemouth. I know we won that game in dramatic fashion with Reece Nelson last-minute winner. But I did say in my video then, we're leaking too many goals. And today, again, we've conceded 2 goals in back-to-back fixtures now. It's not good enough. We need to tighten up defensively. Defenses, honestly, they say defense wins you championships. And it's not wrong. Your defense is the rock. It's the foundation. I'm going to give the teams a bit of an excuse today because, of course, Turner wasn't going to the Ramsdale and Kivio onto the Gabriel. It wasn't our number one first choice back 4-5 if you count the keeper, but still some of the goals we let in today, man, really poor. But at the end of the day, if you're conceding goals, you're not having a great game, we're still in the tie. We've seen teams like Chelsea and Tottenham go 1-0 down in their first leg. We saw Chelsea be able to recover it. Tottenham unfortunately didn't recover it. They're out of the Champions League. At least for us, it's a flat canvas. It's a brand new game at the Emirates on Thursday, and it's a one-round knockout in our home stadium. And I think every Arsenal fan would have taken that, to be honest. I will say some positives, though. I think for that second half, just before they scored, was really good. Just before they made it 2-1, that second half was really intense. We had good chances back to back to back. I thought Fabio Vieira was influential throughout the match. It's nice to see him really come to his form and look really good. I think this game was really good for him, given the fact that, of course, he played for Porto before he came to Arsenal, so he was used to these Sporting Lisbon side, used to these Portuguese sides. They're not going to be as physically dominating as Premier League sides, for example. So I think that really benefited Fabio Vieira, who had a really good game as well in there. But other than that, there were some players I just didn't really think had an amazing game, to be completely honest, man. Like, we've got the new signings coming in. Jakub Kivio. I'm not going to get on his back too much because it is his first game. He did duck for that first goal. Now, is it because Matt Turner told him, leave it, I'm going to clear it, so he ducked it away, so of course he gave Matt Turner more space to clear the ball, even though Matt Turner did not go and do that? Or has he just ducked? I'm not going to make my decision yet and talk too much about him because I don't know what happened. If he has ducked out of his own doing, that's bad. That's a really bad look, I can't lie. I'm not going to judge him too early because it is his first debut. I've seen a lot of players have a really bad debut and go on to have great careers. Equally, I've seen some players have an amazing debut and their Arsenal career never lived up to that. One example being Nicolas Pepe. Do you not remember his first game against Liverpool? He was unbelievable, man. He was on fire. Since then, didn't really pan out the way we expected. So I'm not going to go too harsh on him. Matt Turner as well should be clearing it, should be dealing with that. I mean, what can I say? Both Matt Turner and Jakub Kivio didn't have the greatest of games, but it is what it is. It's one person's debut. It's another one that hasn't played since January. It's one of those things. When you don't rotate the squad as much, when someone does come in, it's only going to be natural that they're quite rusty. And that was the case for Matt Turner today and Jakub Kivio, of course. I think Zinchenko didn't have an amazing game, to be honest. I think he was getting caught out in possession. And also was, obviously, we know defending-wise, it's not his best thing playing left-back. He likes to slot in and be more of an offensive player in midfield. But when he's asked to defend one-on-one at left-back, he does struggle a little bit, I can't lie. I thought Saliba had a monster game in there, man. Despite the fact that we conceded 2 goals, I thought he was really good. His header as well, dominating in the air to score that one. And I thought Ben White, I was surprised he played, to be honest, because I was expecting Tomiyasu. Because I do expect Ben White to play against Fulham on the weekend. So, look, if he can play those games in a row, fair play, man. But I didn't think he had an awful game, but wasn't really doing much going forward. Jorginho at the base, didn't have a bad game. Xhaka next door also got, he scored-ish. It was an own goal, but it is what it is, man. Fabio Vieira, as I said, had a really good game. For me, I think out of all the Arsenal players, he played the best. And then our front three looked a bit jaded, man. I thought Saka wasn't at his best. I thought Reece Nelson looked good in glimpses, taking on his man, but wasn't really influential throughout the game enough. I thought Martinelli had one bit of absolute magic where he ran through the whole team and gave me deja vu to when he scored against Chelsea a few seasons back, but he couldn't quite finish it off. But even then, I thought, is his best position number 9? Do you want to see him on the wing, maybe? It looked an Arsenal team, to be honest, that was just a little bit jaded, a little bit like we're playing because we have to play rather than we want to play. It kind of felt like that. It didn't feel like an Arsenal team that was, yeah, come on, like we're all guns blazing, let's go and win this Europa League. It felt like a team that it was like a stopgap game for them. it was a game it was a calm before the storm, when we know we've got a massive game against Fulham on Sunday in the Premier League we're fighting for. That's what it felt like. And I don't want us to take liberties, because it's one thing saying we're focusing on the Premier League. And yes, I agree we should focus on the Premier League. But when we got knocked out of the FA Cup, I was one here saying, you know what? Overall, every cloud's a silver lining. Less competitions to play in, less matches back to back. We can focus on the league. But then, off the back of the FA Cup loss, it kind of hindered our momentum and hindered our confidence, because we went on to drop points in 3 consecutive matches, including Everton and Man City losses and a Brentford draw. So I don't want us to get knocked out of the Europa League, because then it might hit our confidence again and we might get not have any more momentum and anything like that. But either way, look, it's the first leg and you always come back to it. It's all about how we respond on Sunday against Fulham. Like I said, yesterday wasn't the greatest game we played. I don't think we played amazing by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, I'd go as far as saying we played quite bad. But despite playing bad, we salvaged a draw in a hostile place away from home, and it becomes a one-leg knockout at the Emirates, and I think every Arsenal fan would have taken that. Let's end with the player ratings. In goal, Matt Turner. For me, I'm going to have to give him a 4 out of 10. Was not commanding enough on the first goal. The second goal, I don't think he really could have done much, to be honest. It was a bit of just pinball in the box. But either way, that first goal needs to be more commanding, needs to collect that ball. He had a couple really shaky moments passing the ball out of his feet that they almost scored from. But yes, his first game back since January. I'm not going to be too harsh on the guy, but 4 out of 10. Ben White, I thought Ben White had an okay game, 5 out of 10 for me. Wasn't quite being as influential going forward as I would have hoped for. None of the goals really came from his side, and he wasn't as at fault for the corner. But it is what it is, man, with Ben White. Saliba, I thought Saliba had a decent game, 6 out of 10 for me. Defending-wise, of course, he wasn't as exposed as much as Kivior, and of course he did score the goal for us. But I still want more from him, and I think next to Gabriel, he looks a much better player today, because Saliba was asked to be the dominating player. He's only a young guy. Like, between the two centre-backs, when Saliba and Gabriel plays, Gabriel's more of the dominating one that's giving him instructions, talking to him throughout, which is only natural because Gabriel's older than Saliba. We've now got Saliba trying to give instructions to Kivior when Saliba himself is a young buck. He's like 21, 22 years old. I can't really blame him for that. Next up to him, Kivior, also a 4 out of 10. Not going to be too harsh on him, even though I'm giving him a 4 out of 10 because it is his debut. But yeah, it wasn't a debut to really be remembered, to be honest. But either way, hopefully he can get better and kick on from here. And Zinchenko, 5 out of 10. I don't think he had an amazing game either, to be fair. Jorginho in the midfield. I thought Jorginho, I'd give him a 6 out of 10. I thought he was alright in there, man. Like, he was trying to pick up the ball, trying to move the ball forward. I don't think it was his greatest game for Arsenal, to be fair. I think he's played much better against Aston Villa, for example. I thought he was really good that game. Even against Man City in the first half, he was looking good. Today wasn't his greatest game, but he wasn't at fault really for any of the goals we conceded. Xhaka I thought was good. It was nice to see him back in the starting 11, of course, because against Bournemouth, he was dropped to the bench as in a tactical switch to allow for Fabio Vieira to come into the starting 11. I thought he was good today, Xhaka, man. Scored / it was no own goal, but it was his shot that caused the own goal to happen, so I'm going to have to give him ratings for that. Granit Xhaka, 6 out of 10 as well. And Fabio Vieira, 7 out of 10 for me. He was Arsenal's man the match if there ever was one. He looked really good. He's really technically gifted, as we saw today. He was getting on his foot on the ball. He was making some stuff happen. Could have scored, should have scored maybe. There's a couple of chances where I was thinking, Martinelli, he got through, square it. When Zinchenko played a brilliant disguise pass through to him, he didn't quite make it happen. Had a couple headers that were tipped over or saved. But overall, I don't think I don't think Vieira had a bad game whatsoever. I thought he actually had a decent game in there for us. And one of our man the matches, so 7 out of 10. Let's move on to the front three. So, Bukayo Saka at right wing. I mean, to be fair with Bukayo, man, I don't think he had that. Like, he wasn't that influential. I don't think he had that good a game, to be honest. Like, I've seen him play sometimes, Bukayo, and I've been like, oh my days, this is a footballer right here. Best right wing in the world. And today, he wasn't quite at it. He was trying to make some dangerous things happen, and he was trying to get the ball in dangerous areas, but it just wasn't quite happening for him. So I do think that maybe we could have subbed him off even. I know he's our match winner, but still just giving some rest because that game on Fulham is massive. We need him back for that one. Reece Nelson on the other side, like I said, he was there in glimpses. At times he looked good, times he didn't look good. So yeah, I'm going to give Reece Nelson and Saka a 5 out of 10. And Martinelli, I'm going to give a 6-2 because he had that brilliant chance where he ran around the defender. I thought it was absolutely unbelievable for that, but couldn't quite put it away. But he still was quite dangerous on the attack. As always, let me know your thoughts on the match in the comment section down below, as well as your player ratings. If you're new around here and you love Arsenal-related content, this is the place where you make sure you subscribe down below on my road to 2,000 subscribers. I've been Wifey. See you all in my next video.